Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are all over the world. My name is Kim Nugent, and I am the author of 52 Weeks to Exceptional Leadership. And I'm thrilled to have a few minutes to talk to you about this book because wherever you are and whatever your occupation is, the most important part of our world are people. And I had the privilege of working with some really extraordinary people. But throughout my career, I wanted to be able to give back. And I've learned a lot of things and taken a lot of courses. And I wanted to be able to share something that week by week, the intention of this book is to address one strategy per week per 1 year. Starting with you yourself, and then ultimately as you're coaching and mentoring other young people in their career fields, this will be a way for you to have a foundation or a base so that each week you all can concentrate on specific topics, and then there's a reflection page in the book itself so that you can talk about, or they can write out specifically what they implemented, what they learned from that, how they might actually improve it. And so again, taking a look at really setting a very strong foundation for that very first year is really critical for every employee within your organization, especially if you are that leader or if you want to cultivate leadership over time. Quite frankly, the first unit is based on the first 30 days on the job for yourself. You know, I always say that new bosses should come with warning labels. And so think about what are the 3 most important things that are to you and be able to share that with your team so that they don't have to guess what those things are. You're already setting expectations from the very first day, but also you should find out what's important to them. So really seeking the people on the ground who are doing the jobs with your managers and your frontline employees to be able to get to know them and what's important to them. That really can create that connection and those relationships over time. Know that you're really hiring the right candidate, and so taking the time to be able to do that. I always say desperation does not become me, and so really taking a little bit more time, making certain, and again, getting other people involved in the hiring process to make sure that we're hiring the right candidate for the right role. Now that we've hired that person, now what? Well, quite frankly, that's when the real work begins. And so making sure that that workspace and everything is set up prior to that new employee arriving, making them feel welcome, taking them to lunch on the very first day, introducing them to the team face to face, or if you're working remotely, being able to do that so you have a visual context, whether that's a Skype meeting, Zoom, or GoToMeeting, can really help support that. So again, setting those expectations ongoingly in the first 30 days and not making dramatic changes, but really taking advantage of listening to the people who have been doing this job for a very long period of time, what's important, the mission of the organization. And at some point, truly, the honeymoon is over. And I always say that that's between 3 months to 6 months, and really it's an opportunity to reevaluate what can we do differently, how can we do things better, and not to assume everyone's happy in their roles, but really creating those relationships for the long term. The next area that I concentrate on in the book is really communication. It's an opportunity to get things right as opposed to things wrong. And so whether that's email communications, whether that's weekly highlight reports, really being able to speak in a way that really connects with that person who may have a different personality than yourself. And then, of course, knowing the difference between criticism and feedback. I think a lot of times supervisors feel the need to be able to critique, which is awesome, but that's very different than criticism. So being able to provide feedback in such a way that it can be heard, starting out with something positive, but then specifically saying what needs to be improved and how you might help support them in terms of their improvements. Because once a person knows that you're supporting them and you're standing behind them to be able to help them, if they fall short or if they need some consultation, you are that person. And then, of course, taking a look at who your third-party partners are and how you can support them as well. We always ask our partners for things, but when did we ever go and ask them what they need from us? And so really thinking about developing a robust relationship community, quite frankly, for your organization, whether you're in ministry or whether you're in business or whatever your occupation happens to be, is the relationship piece is the most important piece. And then, of course, creativity. There are times when really we get stuck. And so there's lots of tools and resources inside the book. So when you get stuck and you need something to enhance your own creativity, inspiration can come from anywhere. And then, of course, marketing, meeting management, and then direct operations are other parts of the book to be able to help support you in terms of your leadership and the legacy that you would like to lead. This is really a practical book. It's week by week, strategy by strategy, building on one skill and not actually rushing through the book itself. Because again, what you want to be able to do is to sit and meet with that person or yourself and evaluate, how am I doing this week? And to be able to put things in place so that you have set a strong foundation so that you can do continuous improvement for your organization. Another thing that I think is very important is really recognizing talent that you have within your organization. And that's personalized recognition, understanding that some people like public recognition and other people like private recognition. Knowing what those are, simply ask your employees as part of your process, what's important to them, how would they feel most truly recognized. And thank you, I believe, are the two most powerful words in the world. And I think we take those things for granted. And certainly writing handwritten notes, something that's sort of gone out of style, but means everything because that person knows that you took the time to recognize them in a very quiet and private way, specifically for something that they have done for you. And then, of course, talent development. So thinking, regardless of what your role is, you have the opportunity to develop talent inside and outside your organization, and thinking about how you might actually do that and putting together a program inside your organization to help continue talent development and ultimately leadership. So again, thinking about the last thing is really mind, body, and spirit. So, we just don't work with people, but certainly we want to be able to enhance things that are important to them holistically. And thinking about those defining moments in your life that made a difference from you and how can you share those defining moments with people in your organization. And of course, the last thing is time management. We have some really great tools and tips in the book itself for time management if that is not one of your employees' strong suits or not even one of your own strong suits. Final thing I want to say is I really have had an amazing career in my life, and I feel like every opportunity has helped me learn and grow as a leader. But additionally, I always seek out working with the best. I never think I have all of the answers. I know other people can help me, and I'm always listening for those opportunities for them to be able to share and collaborate, and it helps build their own confidence and their leadership skills at the same time. I hope that you enjoy the book. I hope that you find it very practical and you can use in your organization, and blessings to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.